I need to.
You okay?
I need to, yeah.
Herbie, do you think Ohio State will confirm what everybody seems to feel, that this is certainly a 1 or 2 ranked team, and they'll prove it?
This is where we've come with TV now, isn't it?
Yeah,
We
hell.
got this, we got phones. You're holding the
Multitasking,
mic.
Herbie.
You got
Those
it
I got my sleeve.
You got, I don't know what you got.
No, that's the chocolate.
I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
somebody-
this is week 1, right? I mean, this is why we think we know.
Yeah.
Ryan Day thinks he knows, but until we see them, they might be better than we think. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we got to see it. And I think Notre Dame's a better test than it seems like a lot of the local people feel. Because I have family that are local. I mean, I feel like a lot of people think that Ohio State just throw their jersey out and take care of the game. I think you're maybe underestimating what Notre Dame's capable of with just the execution of the game. But I think Ohio State is one of the best teams in the country, if not the top team in the country going into the year. And now we go play, find out how good they really are.
What do you hear about the defense? The return.
Well, I watched them. I mean, and I know Jim very well from covering him all these years. I mean, they're one of the more complicated schemes in the country. I mean, they're hard to figure out from pre-snap to post-snap. They do a really good job of mixing up their looks. That's why they hired him, because they go from being one of the more predictable defenses to now being one of the more complicated. And so, again, all this sounds great. Now you got to go play in front of 100,000 people and millions of people watching. So I'm excited to see. But it's a great scheme. But Oklahoma State year 1 with Jim versus year 4, they're very different because of the experience that they gained, because of how sophisticated the scheme is.
Is he the kind of the master of confusion?
Yeah.
A lot of looks.
Yeah.
and-
I mean, that's his goal. He wants to be the master of confusion.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've spent a little time with him, I mean, he's kind of like a mad scientist kind of guy, incredibly bright. And I think Tanner McAllister coming over, I think really helps. And then having a guy like Ronnie Hickman, because it's so much about what's going on in the back end, all the movement, all the different things, how you're affecting the quarterback's eyes. So having veteran safeties could really make this defense go.
Yeah, Kirk, what's interesting is he could have soft-pedaled his way into this season. I'm talking about Jim Knowles. Well, we got to wait and see.
No, he didn't do that.
He's been extremely confident since about the middle of spring about what he's seeing, about the way basically a more talented unit than he had at Oklahoma State is taken to this.
Yeah.
Is that a little bit of a tea leaf, reading a tea leaf into what maybe is coming?
Until I see, I don't know.
Yeah.
All I know is everybody you talk to, whether it's a defensive coach or an offensive coach, they all want to bring up the Ohio State defense. If you talk to Kevin Wilson, he scratches his head saying, damn, we've had our hands full in these scrimmages against this new defense. I never heard that until this year.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you talk with the defensive people, they're excited about what it looks like. But again, you don't really know until you get in that stadium, and there's referees that show up and a different colored jersey that shows up, and here we go.
What's different about C.J. Stroud at this
Maturity. I
moment
literally
compared to a
just
year ago? You know what I mean?
left him.
Yeah.
Just a maturity. He's incredibly seasoned after what he went through, the highs and the lows. And I think he's went from being a young quarterback who heard a lot of the noise after the Oregon game and who was a little sensitive to it, to now he's just a hardened veteran. And I think when you play that position with the expectations that are on him, you almost need to have that mindset. So I think he's in a good spot.
What's the biggest gift you ever gave your fellow teammates?
I'm sorry?
What's the biggest gift you ever gave your fellow teammates before an opener or whatever?
I invited him over to play Sega Genesis.
Just
we would just have a beer, maybe, That was pretty impressive.
Is that
was
impressive, though?
Very cool
Great
gesture.
example of where it's
And it really comes from his heart. Like, it's very emotional for him. He came, like a lot of us who don't have a lot, and to be able to be in a position where he can do that for his teammates, that's not just something he just, no big deal. Here, you guys take some too. I mean, that came from his heart, and you can feel that when you talk to him about it. It's pretty cool.
Hey, I just wanted to ask you, being an Ohio State guy, and obviously this being the last year of ESPN's contract with the Big Ten, how did you kind of react to that, and kind of how did you feel about that?
Oh, I'm sad. I love Ohio State. I love the Big Ten. I love coming into these stadiums. It's a highlight for me anytime we can come here, obviously, or go to Penn State or Wisconsin or any of them, and to have that, not so much for game day, but for the games, because I'm calling this game, to not be able to have that opportunity, at least for whatever that window is. I don't know, what is it, 6 years, 7 years? Who knows what will happen after that. So I don't think it's the end of my opportunities in my career, but for that time period it will be. So yeah, I mean, I definitely wasn't celebrating it, but it's the business like we're all seeing. Everything's evolving in this sport, everything's changing. I'm trying to keep an open mind to all of it and just do the best I can through it.
Yeah, with that said, Pete, your boy Pete Thamel just reported that the college football playoff directors, so to speak, have approved a 12-team tournament. What's your reaction to that?
Finally, that's my reaction. We all knew it wasn't going to be at 4. 12's great. If it would have gone to 16, again, I love the BCS was okay with me. We had 2 teams, and but if we're going to open it up to more teams, I think it's great. I think it will no longer hear that discussion about how come this team didn't get their opportunity. It sounds like you go 12. I don't know. Is 13 going to bitch about it too? Like they're going to be upset about it. So
there'll be a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm cool with whatever, man. As long as I can go into these kind of stadiums and call games and watch football. Last night was a reminder for me about why I love football. Like all this other stuff, I endure, and then I get to watch games. And I watch from noon till 2 in the morning every Saturday, every week, and it never gets old. So they don't take that away from me. I'll be good.
Kirk, you think this maybe could be your last one in Ohio Stadium for a while? Or you expect
No,
to be back here?
I think I'll be here for Wisconsin. Okay. I think as far as the games in Columbus, we might do the game in East Lansing, but yeah, we'll be here week 4.
And you're a professional, but this is your.
Oh yeah. Oh man, yeah. I mean but again, I'm not really like closing the door on. I don't know where I'm going in my career. I just signed a new 5-year deal with Amazon and ESPN. I don't know in 5 years from now. I don't know what I'll be doing. I don't even know if I'll be doing college football in 5 years. But my hope is to come back and be able to have a chance on a weekly basis to call games in the Big Ten. That would be my hope. Yeah.